Welcome back to Let's Talk Tuesday. This is the podcast where we have real conversations about learning, leadership, and what it truly takes to help people and organizations grow. Each week, we bring together different perspectives, experiences, and voices to explore what learning development really means, why it matters, and how we can do it better. Today, we have a very special guest, Nichole Kozlowski from Stamford, Connecticut, who has over 15 years experience in learning and development, leadership, and consulting. Welcome, Nichole.
Thanks for having me, Amanda. It's great to be here.
I'm so excited to talk with you. Tell us a little bit about your background and what your current focus is today.
My background started in leadership. I started several years ago leading a team for the first time in operations, understanding how to support individuals in their daily job. And then I had the unique opportunity of taking that and moving into a learning focus. The advantage I felt like that gave me was being on the opposite side, the receiving side of learning, right? Understanding what my employees needed to do their jobs. And then now being able to have that unique opportunity of helping to design what that looked like. So that's where I started. And that's really what fueled me over all these years, right? Having that view of how to tie learning back to business results. What do learners need in their daily jobs to operate and deliver on those goals for their organization?
That's perfect. And so you're the perfect person to answer the next few questions we have, since it's all about learning and development.
I'm excited.
What
Let's
does
go.
what does learning and development mean to you?
It's really how we go about everything in our lives, right? It's about how we manage our professional space, how we manage our personal lives. We all have learning experiences every day in everything we do. We're starting something new for the first time in how we manage our families and our friends and relationships. We have to approach things with curiosity. We have things in life that we shift from being that first time learner to being an expert. So learning really is that full circle for me, and how I see it with my children. I learn from them all the time. Lately, it's the most uncool thing because I don't know what their messages mean half the time. But we also shift back now into a professional space where you may be seen as an expert, lending your expertise to a strategy, but also we all have a first, right? How many times have we gone into meetings where we have a challenge or we have a specific business problem that we have to approach for the first time? We have to be curious. We have to ask those questions about what support do we need and how we can lend that support. And it's through those interactions that you gain experience and expertise over time. So back to what I said earlier, learning happens every day for each and every one of us. Sometimes we don't slow down to really even notice that it is happening, but it's a full circle experience for me.
Absolutely. I mean, it permeates every single day, every single aspect of our day. We're definitely cut from the same cloth there. Of not just do we live that world, corporate and professionally, but I love how you take the personal side of it too. And we can learn from all different sources, right? So I feel like I'm always learning, even if it's something where the experience is bad or good, there's still ways to learn from that, what not to do, what to do, and then change our behavior accordingly, because the next step is obviously taking the learning, taking what your inputs are, and
Right,
how are you going to change your behavior from that.
right.
Why is learning and development so important, especially in today's world?
Because there's so much change that we're all going through, right? When the big topic of today is AI and technology and how that's changing our world, it's change which comes with learning something new. And that's the tie-in that I see. It's, again, when it's changing behavior, change, it could be transactional, learning something, reading an article, it could be writing an article. With change comes learning, comes the need for learning. I don't see one without the other. And I think sometimes because change is so big for some of us, when we think about, oh, I have to change how I am, we go through change every single day, but we sometimes don't think about the connection piece to learning and the
It's so true.
experience that comes with that.
It's so true. It's funny because in learning development, I think if you don't have change management, you're not going to be successful, and vice versa. So I completely see the synergy and the connection between learning and change.
Right.
But it's funny how change management is its own beast in theory, and project management its own beast, and learning development And I feel like I wear all three hats. And so I feel like I'm always bridging the gap between them, saying, like, you're not so different. You need each other. So,
Right. And, you know, you mentioned something earlier when we were talking about change and leadership and learning. It's the continuous improvement,
mhm,
continuing to refine as you go along, right?
mhm.
So, again, it's that roller coaster of change. And within that, it's refining how you manage change as it comes along each time. You become a little bit more stronger in your resilience as you go through it. The more times you go through it, it's like riding a bike. The more times you get on it, the more of an expertise you build up and experience you build up in that space. But when you say the word, it's terrifying to some people.
It's so true. Another one that I love is like self-efficacy, right? So what you're talking about is you've gone through a change, you've gone through a learning, you survived, you thrived, and now you're going through another learning. And so yeah, it's scary on the onset and initially, but you build that self-efficacy up to know I've figured it out before, I'll figure it out again, I'll
Right.
continue to learn and grow. And again, for you, you know that my love language is continuous improvement always. So thank you for weaving that one in. What do you wish companies knew or did differently when it comes to learning and development?
Being more open, right? So I think for in my experience looking back at learning, it's usually the focus is let's go to learning when something needs to be fixed or we need to
Mhm.
address a specific business case.
The magic training wand. We all
And
know
that's
it well.
training one, right? And the training that really should have been a workshop, that really should have been a discussion,
Should have been an email.
that should have been an email, and so on and so forth. So what do I think? What would I like to see organizations do is really, and their organizations doing this really well today, really building this into the experience that they have and they offer their employees. It's like one of their benefits, right? So being able to come in, understand, get the tools and resources to do your job, but not only just to be able to perform, but also be able to grow, right? What is that career path? What does that look like? And what are some of the things that they are committed to helping you along that journey? So there are organizations who are doing that very well, and there are organizations that are looking to implement that because attracting talent with just being taking them through onboarding is just a small piece of the puzzle. Being able to help them grow and of course meet different learners where they are. There's some people at different career paths, different points in their life who may be not looking to climb the ladder at this point in time, but they want to also keep their skills sharp and fresh. So have resources available to them that meets their learning style. So having this catalog per se of how to grow, how to you're retaining your employees. Of course, the bottom line is retention, but you're coming on board, having a great experience of what it's like to be here, showcasing that this is a place for you to grow a career if that's what you would like to do. But if you also just want to attain skills for whatever the future looks like for you, here are some of the things that we can do to contribute to that part of your professional journey as well.
Yeah. And for organizations, what you're talking about really for me, it's that clear vision, that strategy, so
Yep.
that you can have all those touch points, so that you're focused on your high potentials as well as your people who may be exiting in 2 years from now or a year from now and thinking about retirement. Because if you're creating strategically, if you're designing and thinking about the life cycle of an employee or a contractor or just your people in general, right? It's having that breadth of, oh, there's different people at different places in their life and what they're trying to accomplish. How do we support them to get the most out of them as organizations? Because when we set our people up for success, we know the organization will thrive. It's
And you create those internally, or there's a lot of resources and organizations that companies can now partner with to do that.
exactly.
So the breadth of access to resources is definitely much broader than we've probably seen in the past few years.
It's so true. And part of it now I think is us cutting through all that because there's so much noise out there and there's so many options. It's like, okay, then you get the opposite where it's deer in the headlight and people are like, what do I do? So it's thinking strategically about the like helping them along, helping them clear through the path of like this is going to help you because of this. What are you trying to achieve? It's that mutually beneficial relationship.
Yeah, and that's the exciting piece for me about what technology, I won't say the acronym that everybody's using, but that's what technology now is going to allow us to be able to deliver on.
Yeah.
What exactly our learners need, when they need it, and what format they need it in. That best gives them an experience, not just a 20 or 30-minute video that they play.
Exactly, exactly. All right. Well, we've covered a lot of ground. Let's start to wrap things up. I always love to leave people with one actionable tip or takeaway they can do today. So please give our audience one thing that they can do today to act upon to further their development.
So I am going to shamelessly take something that I've learned from you through
Oh,
our partnership and our work, right? Your 1, 2, 3 framework. I would say I would share with the audience to today, with so much going on and we're all so busy, we get caught up in life. The one thing, have strategic focus. Pick one thing to focus on today, this week, this moment that you want to accomplish, that you want to build out, that you want to continue to work on. I could sit here and probably go to 2 or 3 more items that complements that, but that's what I would share with folks today. There's a lot of noise, there's a lot of busyness, there's a lot for us to do. There's always more to do than what we have time for, but narrowing that time down to just picking one item that you want to focus and hone in on is what I would leave folks with. You show up differently, you get a chance to narrow down your focus and put some good work and planning into effect, and you'll be able to deliver on it. So that's something you and I have partnered on very recently, and I enjoyed that exercise quite a bit. So that's what I want to leave us with today.
well, thank you for sharing the wealth. Yes, one strategic priority, identifying the one thing that is going to move you forward, that is the biggest priority, and then make sure it's in your calendar, it's everywhere. You've told people about it because that will help set you up for success. If you're accomplishing your one strategic priority, ideally at the beginning of the day, not always possible, but ideally at the beginning of the day, you set your whole self up for success in the days to come. So thank you so much, Nichole.
Thank you for having me.
And with that, we'll begin to wrap up. So I hope this discussion gave our audience a few new perspectives, sparked some ideas, and left you with at least one takeaway you can put into action immediately. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and join us every Tuesday as we continue exploring learning, leadership, and what it takes to help people and organizations grow. And if today's conversation resonated with you, or if you'd like to join me for a future episode, I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and let's talk again on Tuesday. Thanks, everyone.